All right, so we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to talk about hand stops versus vertical grips and why I prefer a hand stop. Keep in mind this is just opinion based, so take it with a grain of salt. There's really no right or wrong answer. It just depends on the person and what you're using the gun for. But this is where I've arrived based off of my experience and just years of shooting these things and playing around with them in the field and all that good stuff. So you see right here, this is a Bear Creek Arsenal 5.56 that I have set up to my liking. And you can already see there is a hand stop on there. So right off the bat, you kind of know what I prefer. I prefer the hand stops anymore. And I'll tell you why I came to that realization. So my progression through the AR-15 world is very similar to a lot of people's progression. So you get an AR-15. You shoot it, you love it, all that good stuff, and then you start looking online and you start seeing the plethora of accessories that you can get for the dang things. So you start buying crap. And you start buying crap and attaching crap, and you go through these cycles on what type of crap you have on your rifle. I used to have the vertical grips. I used to love them. I used to have bipods and all kinds of different stuff on these rifles. But after time, you kind of hit that point where you put a bunch of crap on the gun, and for guys like me, I review this stuff here on YouTube and on my Instagram and stuff. It's fun for me, so there is that. But you get that point where you say, you know what, I don't need all this crap, and it's kind of hindering the balance of the gun. And then you kind of go back to something a little bit more streamlined, like you see right here. I like my handguards to be very streamlined. You kind of see what I'm getting at. I don't like a bunch of crap hanging off it or hanging off to the side. I want something very streamlined, very well balanced that I can use consistently. So that's why I like hand stops versus the vertical grips. So first off, vertical grips. What are they good for? Well, if you use a vertical grip in the traditional manner, and that means your hand down wrapped around the grip and not around the handguard, it doesn't offer much as far as additional recoil control. Where those grips come in handy, and this is speaking back to more of my military experience, pulling security with these guns, if you're on a short halt, long halt, whatever, you're doing stuff. When you have the weapon shouldered, whether it's an M16, M4, what have you, when you have that vertical grip on, it makes it easier to hold for a longer period of time without over fatiguing your forearms or your shoulder or your biceps or whatnot. For those of you that's done it before, you kind of, even law enforcement, if you're on a long felony stop or something and you're on target for a little while, it's amazing. Even if you're really in shape, it's amazing how a 6 or 8 pound or 10-pound rifle starts to get really heavy. And that's the last thing you want, is to be fatigued, and then all of a sudden everything goes hot, and now your arms are fatigued and you're trying to get on target and do work. So those vertical grips were good for that. And that's why, in fact, if you've noticed, especially back, I'm kind of dating myself here, back in the Iraqi freedom days, you'll see a vertical grip and you'll see it mounted backwards a little bit. It's not up front, you'll see it mounted back towards the magazine. That's for a reason, it's a comfort thing. I used to do that. And then as things evolved and you learn more about tactics and stuff, then you kind of move it around. Now, with that said, you don't need a vertical grip to accomplish that, because you can come back and do a magwell hold and it does the same thing. It keeps your arms back towards your bone structure, towards your center line. You're a lot stronger. You don't fatigue as fast, and then you can always slide back out to more of a forward hold if you need to, if you get what I'm saying. So because of that, I thought, you know what, the magwell grip can provide that same thing as a vertical grip, so the vertical grip kind of becomes redundant. And it's a redundancy that I don't need. So it just adds a lot of bulk. The way I grip the rifle is around the handguard anyway, so my preferred solution is a hand stop. If anything, I can go without. That's perfectly fine by me. But if I wanted something there, just like in this, there's a hand stop. This is Strike Industries. It's a very low profile hand stop, but it still has aggressive texture. I can still get a consistent grip, and there's enough on here if I wanted to brace this rifle against some sort of cover or concealment, some hard cover, hard concealment, I could do so. And that's perfect. I don't need anything more. It's a non-snag. You know, as far as the ergonomics, it fits well with how I hold the rifle, so that's why I prefer the hand stops over the vertical grips. Now, keep in mind, that's just my opinion. Again, there's no right or wrong answer because everybody has a little bit different experience. That's a funny thing. And we get ourselves in trouble when we have these arguments in the firearms world because we debate. I could say, yeah, hand grips are the best. Hand grips are the best. For me, sure. But somebody else, whether, you know, it's job related or experience related, or if somebody maybe has a wrist issue or something and they have to use the full vertical grips, for them, the vertical grip is going to be the best. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. You just have to take into account how you want to do things. One thing that I've come across, you know, based on my experience with this thing is generally the more streamlined and simple you keep your AR-15, the better it's going to perform. It stays extremely well balanced. You can use it in a lot of different roles. You can do, you know, whether it's long range, short range, what have you. As long as you keep it simple and streamlined, it works really well. Just for example, let me pan the camera here. This thing is very, very streamlined. There's no real bulk to it, I guess you should say. It's just iron sights. I have a simple Streamlight on there, the ProTac Streamlight, hand stop. I got one of the Evil standard capacity 40 rounders on there, but it's very simple, right to the point, right? So that's just my opinion. So feel free to discuss in the comment section the standard spiel, and I know I say this in every video, but I think it's really important. Make sure to be liking and subscribing to all of the gun videos that you're seeing on YouTube that, you know, that aren't, you know, just trash. Because there are some out there, it's just like, holy crap, what are these guys doing? But the ones that are being safe, responsible, and all that good stuff, make sure to like and subscribe and show your support. Show your support to everybody out there. Because, you know, I think it's really important to keep this type of videos up, keep this type of education out there, keep people thinking about responsible firearm use and all that good stuff. Anyway, enough of that spiel. Feel free to comment section below on what you think is the best. Again, no right, no wrong answers. Just throw your experience out there so people can read, and they can ponder this video, and while they're pondering the video, they can look at the comments, and maybe you bring up a point that they're like, hey, I agree with that commenter. You know, and that's perfect. So, all right. Hope everybody's staying safe and sane out there, and I'll see you again next time.